I'm singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing. Oh. What's going on, campers, dreamers, and babysitters? And we have finally made it to the month of July. This is becoming a very big month for horror fans, and with releases like Long Legs and Maxine, I mean, those are just two titanic juggernauts that are going to be hitting theaters. But I actually want to talk about some of the smaller releases and maybe make this a normal thing where I start talking about some of the more independent horror films that we cover on this channel. So yeah, tell me if you guys really like this idea, if you think this is something you want to see us do month to month, and yeah, if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. We are doing all we can to get to 3,000 subs, and I'd really like to get there by the end of the month. So without further ado, here is 6 smaller horror films that you should keep your eye out for in the month of July. Starting off at number 6, we have The Blue Rose, directed by George Barron. The film follows 2 rookie detectives who set out to solve a homicide, but end up in an alternate reality made up of their worst nightmares. This one's being put out by Dark Skies, and yeah, I mean, I took a look at this really early on when we got the offer to take a screening for it, and I was a little interested. I gotta say, I was more interested after I saw the trailer and after I kind of saw just what they were going for, because although that's an intriguing concept, you never really know if they're going to deliver on that. And yeah, I gotta say, I'm a little bit more impressed by what it seems like they're going to be able to pull off here. There's a lot of big sets. It looks very David Lynch mixed with a little bit of, like, I don't know, Edward Scissorhands, type stuff. So I'm pretty curious as to see how this one's going to pan out. I mean, Dark Sky has had some pretty strong releases this year, so I think that this one, I'm really hoping will make it on that list of strong releases and not so much on the kill your lover side. But I'm just hating. So anyway, I really am looking forward to The Blue Rose, and this one is going to be hitting VOD on July 12th, so keep your eyes out for that one if you are interested. And yeah, let's move on to the next pick. Coming in at number 5, we are going to have The Last Breath, and if you guys know me, you absolutely know I have to include a shark film on a list of upcoming films because I prioritize those. I love them. I didn't care for Under Paris. I thought Under Paris was pretty weak. So I'm kind of hoping that The Last Breath kind of breathes some new life into the shark subgenre. And yeah, I mean, it looks okay. I'm excited for it because it's got sharks in it, but it's a shark movie. The film follows a group of old college friends reuniting on a Caribbean scuba diving trip, exploring the wreckage of a World War II battleship, and they find themselves trapped inside the underwater labyrinth of rusted metal, surrounded by great white sharks. Again, I'm an easy sell for these kind of movies. It doesn't take much to get me in the door, but if you want me to praise your shark film, I get a little picky. But yeah, I think this looks like good fun. It's the summer season, so we're going to be having Shark Week starting up soon. I think that this coming out on July 26th is kind of perfect, at least for us here in the States. I think you'll be ripe and in the mood to watch some shark content. I know I throw on Jaws and a couple of the sequels and The Reef around this time of year, so the fact that we have something new to hopefully keep us enticed and excited for, I'm looking forward to it. Although I admittedly may have to twist Luke's arm to watch The Last Breath, there is one critter that's going to be appearing on this list that I know I don't have to do that with, and that is with my number 4 pick, The Beast Within. Yes, we have a new werewolf film afoot, and this will hopefully kind of keep us fed until we get The Wolfman early next year. But yeah, no, this was quite a surprise. I had no idea this was coming out. I usually try to keep tabs on these things, especially because for a long time, a really decent sized budget werewolf film, they're kind of hard to come by. We get all kinds of direct DVD, direct to streaming ones that, pop up, and some of them are pretty good, some of them aren't so good. But, I was pretty impressed just with the trailer in this. They don't show a lot. They don't really show you the beast too much, but I really like the concept here. After a series of strange events leads her to question her family's isolated life on a fortified compound deep in the English wilds, 10-year-old Willow follows her parents on one of their secret late-night treks to the heart of the forest. Like I said before, this one, it's got some decent backing behind it. You can just tell by the cinematography. It seems like they are putting their best foot forward with the storytelling, and all I can hope for is that it's interesting. We get some cool werewolf effects. They don't go too heavy with the CGI, and yeah, if we can get a nice simple tale, I would be so on board with this. Like I said, I am an easy sell. I know Luke is an easy sell for werewolf films. They just have to get the formula right, which you would think is not that hard. And before I forget to mention, yes, you can check out The Beast Within on July 26th in select theaters and on VOD. Coming in at number 3, we have Thine Ears Shall Bleed. Yes, I didn't know anything about this movie until I started doing research for this list. Yes, usually at the kind of the midpoint of the month, I like to sit down and try to see what's getting released the next month, so I kind of know who to contact, who to get screeners from, and this one popped up on my radar, and yeah, I kind of brushed it off at first, but then I saw that trailer, and man, I am into it. Now, this does kind of fall into the realm of religious horror, which Luke and I are not the biggest fans of, but I really dig the concept here. In the 1860s American West, a minister and his family are traveling in a covered wagon when they hear a mysterious sound coming from the woods, believing the sound to be God. They worship it until they discover the sound is something much more sinister. Yeah, man, this movie looks dark. It looks really cool. I kind of like the more omnipotent kind of force that it seems like we're dealing with. The only thing that would really piss me off is if we got something and it was like, oh, it's just this. It's not anything godly or kind of like Lovecraftian or anything like that. Not saying that it would be Lovecraftian, but in that sense, I want this to be something horrific and monstrous and godlike. And if they can do that, it'll really follow through with me. Plus the idea of a sound and how transfixed people back in the day could really get on stuff like that when they're looking for signs that point to God or whatever. It's just one of those things that it's really captivated me, and I'm really looking forward to sitting down and watching this bad boy. And it looks like we won't have to wait too long for this one because this is going to be on VOD in the States on July 9th. Moving on into number 2, we have Starved Acre. Yes, I am super duper excited to talk about this one because I can sense the horror community starting to surround this film, and I think if it lands, it's going to be pretty big. Now, this one stars Matt Smith, who you can also catch on House of the Dragon, canoodling with his family members, but he's not doing that here. No, this is a folk horror tale, and I gotta say, I think that the vibe looks wonderful. I think that the energy that this movie is kind of presenting itself out, it feels very much like The Witch. It's kind of falling into those that mystery, very similar to how I feel about Thine Ears Shall Bleed. I think that this is going to be a really interesting flick. Now, for those of you who don't know, the film follows the typical ideal rural family life of a couple who is then thrown into turmoil when their son starts acting out of character. I know that's still pretty vague of a description, but I'm telling you, watch the trailer. I think that if you're into folk horror, if you're into, like I said, things like The Witch and The Lighthouse, anything under that Robert Eggers kind of banner, I think this one's going to sell you. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it looks super creepy. It looks like it does have the chops to kind of stand up and do something that maybe I was hoping The Watchers was able to do, but again, that movie was alright. This one, I definitely have higher hopes for. Yes, you'll be able to catch this film in select cinemas on July 26th. And coming in at number 1, we have Oddity. Yes, I heard so many wonderful things about this movie from all of the film festivals that have been happening over the year here, starting all the way back in January. I mean, this thing was getting just as much praise as In a Violent Nature, and when I saw that it got picked up by our good friends over at IFC Films and Shudder, I knew we were in good hands, and yes, I already have a screener for it. I haven't watched it just yet, but I'm just kind of enjoying and basking in the fact that yes, I'm going to be able to sit down and check this thing out because this looks creepy as hell. I honestly have only seen about half the trailer, and that's just because I don't want to see anymore. I was told that it does get a little bit spoilery in there, but it does give me a lot of these classic ghost story vibes. The little wooden dummy thing that we're looking at is just very creepy, lots of long, slow shots. I think if there's any film that has a good chance of unsettling me more than Longlegs, it might be Oddity this year. So we will have to wait and see, but we won't have to wait that long. So for those of you who don't know, Oddity centers around Darcy, who after the brutal murder of her twin sister, goes after those responsible by using haunted items as her tools for revenge. And that is all that I know, and that is all that I am at liberty to say, because yeah, I am super looking forward to this. This is why it's my number one. I think it looks creepy. I did buy Caveat, which is the director's first film, so I will be watching that as well before this. Our buddy Alex over at Beyond the Void Horror Podcast has said some wonderful things about that. And yeah, I cannot wait for this. And you don't have to wait too long. Like I said, this thing is going to be available in select theaters on July 21st. So again, not too long of a wait. This is a stacked month. So there will be movies every single weekend throughout the entire month of July that are worth checking out, horror fans. So yeah, I am super duper pumped. But there you have it. There are 6 smaller independent horror films, I guess you could say, that I am looking forward to for the month of July. Yes, I had a lot of fun doing this. This was kind of really freeing and upbeat. I didn't really sit down and write a script for this. I kind of just went off the dome. But yeah, let me know if you guys like this, if you guys want to see more of this. Like I said, I might do one of these each month. I'll probably trade off with Luke, so that way you get a little bit of a differing opinion here and there. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. Let me know down below, what horror films are you looking forward to seeing this month? And yeah, keep it right here. We got our review for Maxine coming up here in just about a day. So yeah, I'm excited. July, you're delivering pretty hard when it comes to horror right now. But alrighty, that's going to wrap it up here. So until next time, I'm Dylan Newell. And remember, there's no singing at the North Pole. I'm just kidding. Stay scared.
Do the horror shit, gonna do it live. Cause Splattercast kick it every day they live. Splattercast, gonna smash your ass. 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 Splattercast, gonna smash your ass.